tough one because there were quite a number of scenes involved, from where the DP was supposed to land to the street campaigns that were being done by aspirants before the event. People were up by 5 a.m. and by 8 a.m. some aspirants had even carved out a section of the street where they could do their, they were preparing their supporters on how they would respond when they get to speak and such like. So for us at Baringo News, Ravine News, we had got Mejipanga, and here we have a team of about 9 people.
Wow.
So that tells you we are able to go about it. Many people were calling wakisema, hey, that was TV grade, and we were telling them that's the future, and the future is now.
Well done.
Yeah. So on covering, we had one camera and on one of the toilets at Shimoni Day Secondary School, where the DP was opening a laboratory. And of course, now one camera at the venue where the DP was addressing the attendance, or rather the rally. So it may have been challenging, yes, but I think we have the capacity, and from what you may have seen, you can attest to what I'm saying, that we do have the capacity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done. Being a freelancer and putting all the effort, talking about all those 3 cameras in regards to trying to bring things live, congratulations. But by the way, before we continue into now the event and everything and what transpired on that day, do you happen to rewatch and see how the event went well, or get to know as a team leader? Of course, I presume you're the team leader of Ravine and Baringo News. Do you happen to come and watch, or you just trust your team and say, look, that was amazing?
No, I'm part of the team, and like my role on that day was to coordinate the entire team in terms of what needs to be seen and what needs to go where. And at some point, I was even operating one of the cameras, something I've never gone to school to learn how to use. And for those who may have watched from start to finish, you may have heard my voice giving extra information about Baringo, the various aspirants who are vying on Jubilee, or rather not Jubilee, but the team leader. Definitely, I come to sit and watch, and also identify when we are covering another event of such standard, we get to improve, because through your mistakes you get to learn. And part of the reason why we get to watch and rewatch is to analyze and to get to understand the politics of the day, because you notice that I also do host some shows on Baringo News.
Yeah.
You cannot host shows when you're not conversant with what is happening on the ground. Yeah. And further to that as well, you may have noticed highs and lows for some aspirants. And you have to really understand, so that when you're even analyzing, you have a clear picture of what may have transpired there.
Yeah. The very day on the rally, everything, all the politicians. There are people whom we all know, and I don't want to mention names, that they were losers, of course, on the very day as well. What is your take on that?
I'm not sure if I got you well. What did you say?
I'm saying on the very day, of course, within the ground, what wako Baringo kule, there were those who are of course, aligned to DP, and those who are not aligned to. And of course, we know there were, losers and winners on the day. What would you say on that?
Well, I think I was privileged to see, or rather to even learn about the DP's visit, as among the first people to know that the DP was visiting on Wednesday. I was in Nairobi on the day that it was announced that the DP would be coming, and it was an honor, because I was with one of the MPs from Baringo, and he told us, hey, the DP is coming, and a meeting that we had was suddenly halted because people had to run, or rather the leaders had to rush to Baringo to organize the event. I'm giving that background because that explains, I'm trying to show you how the event was kind of organized. So when we ended our meeting prematurely in Nairobi, we traveled to Baringo immediately. I left Nairobi at 7 p.m. By 10 p.m., I was in Eldama Ravine. And I found the leaders now holed up in a meeting, planning how the event would go. And this meeting was involving both elected and those who are aspiring to be elected. And from my sources, I could note that the conversation was around how can we make this event a success and reduce the crowd being indifferent during the event, or rather ensuring that the crowd is responsive. And responsiveness, you may have seen in Pale was in Gishu. The DP has had about 4 rallies in the North Rift in the last 3 weeks.
Correct.
There was one in Uasin Gishu, there was another one in Bomet, and subsequently Kericho.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of booing during those events. And somehow the conversation among the leaders was around, can we tone down the booing? And of course, booing. He left Tidy's restaurant where the leaders were holed up. I think their meeting ended at around 11:30 p.m. And the rest were left now organizing themselves. You could see kila mtu anajaribu kumobilize vijana wake, rehearsing how they would even respond during the event. And out
So
of
these
all
things
that
do
planning,
happen prior to the function.
every event bana, wanasema ukiona vyaelea ujue vimeundwa. So
lazima ujenge jeshi kwanza.
lazima ujenge jeshi kwanza bana.
But there was heckling on the day. You will also
Yes,
add on that, because I saw even someone did send me a clip. I don't know, Lesoner or someone talking about what exactly might have happened.
Maybe before we go into that, the preparation bit, I think every leader mobilized their vijana, and that is why you saw a huge crowd in Eldama Ravine. And even the leaders who have been here for quite some time, I'm only 2 years here, na watu wananiambia hawajawahi ona crowd kama hiyo before. And this is as a result of MCA analeta watu wake, MP wanaleta watu wake, and all these are aspirants. You can get, like for the MP position in the Eldama Ravine, it is being contested by about 10 people.
Wow.
So assuming each of these 10 people bring 100 youth, that is 1,000, sindio? That is how that crowd was mobilized. Bado hujaongelea governor, hujaongelea senator, and posters everywhere. So there are resources that were involved in mobilizing these people, and everybody would want to get a good reception. And when I rise to speak, this is how you will receive me. So one of the business holders here was telling me kwamba he got a call from one of the leaders from the north, from Uasin Gishu, akisema kwamba this event was one of its kind, and they were very happy by the attendance. So before even we go into the response, the heckling and all that, I think we can say this event was a success, in my opinion. And anybody who was involved in the event, in organizing the event, I believe they went home happy, saying that they have impressed the DP. And even you could hear the reaction by Musalia Mudavadi. When he rose to speak, yani hata yeye anashtuka. Someone was joking. Yeah, alikuwa amezoea kuona mawakili wakipanga mikutano. Alishangaa. So sasa hakuna kukutana kupanga mkutano mwingine na mwingine for somebody like Mudavadi. I believe he also appreciates, and at some point he even had to relate with the people. He told the people, I come from this place. My relatives, I even mentioned names, and people were very happy because they felt Musalia, the leader, was one of them. So that is the success of the event. Now, on the flip side, there are people, we can say there were winners and losers in that event. And that is normal in any transaction or in any event. In business, they say, if you look around, when you're cutting a deal, if you look around and there's no one losing, then that must be you. So even in this rally, Tuesday on Wednesday, I can say there were losers and winners. And to me, and this is purely my opinion. In my opinion, there's a gentleman anaitwa Ngetuny. Emmanuel Ngetuny is a MP aspirant. Ngetuny, no one thought he could pull such a speech. And even while they were calling, the DP was giving an opportunity to the leaders to speak. Ngetuny rose after an elected MP was given an opportunity. Ngetuny spoke after Mheshimiwa Kamuren. Mheshimiwa Charles Kamuren, who is the MP for Baringo South. He's actually my MP. So it was unexpected or a sitting governor. So when Ngetuny rose, he knew very well what people wanted to hear. And he got a huge reception. That is one of the biggest winners of the event. When he told the people, Niliamka, or rather, I vied for the MP seat in Eldama Ravine in 2017 in a wrong party. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have money. I didn't have a car. Lakini sasa I'm in the correct party. Niko na bibi. And finally when he said na niko na kakitu, he was speaking directly to the DP. And you could see the reaction by the DP. Ni kama hata yeye alifurahia hiyo kwamba hiyo confidence ya huyu kijana iko juu sana. Another winner I would say would be I would say the former MP for Eldama Ravine, Mheshimiwa Musa Sirma, if I may say, because I have been here for some time, and there were a lot of kumekuwa na Musa Sirma, what everyone is. The two was seemingly the antagonists, and anyone who was aware of the politics of Ravine would have expected maybe Musa Sirma and supporters were Halima to clash, but there was no clash. And somehow Musa Sirma, Mheshimiwa, also got some reception as well. And to me, he may have also won. He's among those who won during that event. And I've started with the MPs for Eldama Ravine, then we'll go to maybe the governor, the Senate. So Sirma somehow managed the situation. He got some reception, not much, but something that he would go home feeling that they won. Another winner could be Mheshimiwa, the former governor, the first governor for Baringo County, that is Cheboy. Got some serious applause, and politics are about perception. And
absolutely,
you may be very popular and you get to be heckled, and what the word that goes out there is "aupendwi kwa ground."
Yeah, that's true.
So that is how I get to base who may have been the winner and the loser in this. So I've given 3 winners. Maybe now we can go to the biggest. I would say the biggest losers. On Saturday, the Saturday before the week now when the DP came, that is last week. Saturday last week, there was a funeral in Bororo, Eldama Ravine, and the area MP, Mheshimiwa Lesonet, who is now vying for governor, told the congregation, or rather the mourners, that he has a message for the people of Baringo from the DP. And one, the DP is coming to Baringo. So he was the first person to announce the DP's visit. Secondly, he said he has a message for the people of Tiati. Tiati is a constituency in the far north of Baringo, Pokot. Tiati. East Pokot is a homogeneous constituency. It is primarily occupied by the Pokot community. And they have always gone against the popular vote in Baringo. In 2002, they were in NAC when Baringo was in Kano. In 2007, when we were in ODM, they were in PNU. In 2013, when we were battling with Jubilee, sijui alikuwa chama gani. And in 2017, all elected leaders were elected from Kano. So this time, the Mheshimiwa Lesonet was saying now, we have a message for them and we are trying to convince them to join UDA. So this person, Mheshimiwa Lesonet, and with the kind of mobilization, excellent. Unfortunately, he was among those who were heckled. And that, that informs why I'm saying he may have been the biggest loser.
Yeah.
But listening from his close circles, utasikia kwamba hiyo maybe it's been a norm for the people of Eldama Ravine to heckle Lesonet, and he's taking it assuring people kwamba he'll bounce back because that's something that has always happened to him, and it's not a new thing to him, though may have derailed him, but yeah, kitu kama hicho. Now, another loser, if we may say, is we are looking at the losers as of those who may have been heckled, but there are also those of whom who did not get an opportunity to speak. Walikuwa wamejipanga, lakini they did not even get to be mentioned, neither were they recognized.
Yeah.
Despite their involvement in mobilization of these crowds. Mheshimiwa Halima, she's the MP aspirant for Eldama Ravine. She did serious mobilization, very serious. When I was leaving Tidis at 3 a.m., she was still there. Huyo alipambana kabisa. And as of what happened within the crowd, hapo ni vigumu sana kujua, but I think we'll need to look into the possibilities of what may have happened. But that can be an issue that we'll discuss later. So she may have been also another loser during that event because ilifika mahali pia alilemewa, you know, people don't give you time to speak, and she found herself just holding the mic, not knowing what to do next. And the DP said, asante sana mrembo, let the next person.
That is a big embarrassment.
It was tough, but you know, Alfred, there are quite a number of dynamics when it comes to rallies. Rallies are a very risky affair, usipojipanga vizuri. And maybe before I go into kujipanga, allow me to maybe mention other people that we may consider as the losers. There are a number of MP aspirants who are not given a mention. I said Ravine, kuna about 10 of them. I think the only people who got to speak were Ngetui, Mheshimiwa Sirma. There's another fellow anaitwa Kiptonge. I think the least expected, and he actually managed to get an audience. There's a women rep anaitwa Rebecca Lomon, an aspirant women rep. She didn't get an opportunity, neither did she get a mention. Professor Sigor aliitwa aongee lakini hakupata hiyo opportunity. So somehow there are losers on the side of being booed or heckled, and there are losers now on the side of not getting an opportunity to speak. You know, if you look at Nakuru, the rally in Nakuru, there's one person who got a lot of endorsement out of just getting a mention from the DP na kukaribishwa kwa chama. The founder of Kericho breweries. Anaitwa Tabitha Karanja. You know, she's as good as the next senator for for Nakuru, out of that endorsement alone. So that is why we are looking at whether we have a loser or someone who gained. And candidly, those are things that would happen in a rally at any given time.
Just out of interest, before we move, I'm keen on the Senate position. You haven't mentioned any much about the Senate. Are there people running for Senate?
Wako. The Senate seat in Baringo I would say it is up for grabs for anyone who will field a serious campaign. Initially, there was Mheshimiwa MCA for Tenges Ward anaitwa Silas Tochim. Yeye ndiye alijitokeza wa kwanza kwamba anataka hicho kiti cha Senate. And Baringo is wide, so you need a lot of resources to bankroll a campaign for a county position, women rep, Senate and governor. So Tochim alianza ikashika, but along the way kidogo campaign zake zikafifia kidogo, but he's still keeping on. He didn't get an opportunity to speak, but the deputy president acknowledged his presence during the event.
Yes.
There is Isaiah Kirukmet. He works with the NHIF. I didn't notice whether he was there or not, but he also didn't get a mention during the event. Then finally, kuna mwenye anazingiziwa, if I may use that term. People are speculating that he would vie. That is the MP for Baringo North. His name is Mheshimiwa Cheptumo, William Cheptumo. He's serving his third term in Baringo North, and people are speculating that he would be giving a shot on the senatorial seat. And from where I sit, I think if he comes out and he launches his campaigns, I think he would be a force to reckon. Then now the word out there again is emerging that with Senator Gideon Moi's dwindling options of running for presidency, then he could make a surprise comeback to defend his seat for the third time. But I don't think that would happen, because I think much of his efforts have been taken to the national level. And I think the OCA team could even be depending on him on resources. So managing both the presidential and the senatorial seat, I don't think it would work. So somehow the senatorial seat in Baringo is Nakuru.
I have a friend who came home from Australia. He just mentioned Charlotte. Ama alikuja amepotelea missing.
Pole bana. Ukisikia mtu hajamenshoniwa and the people in the media, si kwa ubaya. ni popularity ndio bado, they still have work to do. Na it's an equal opportunity, kila mtu anapambana, and we can only wish them well, really.
Yani ukweli. Wow. Allow me to acknowledge some of the people who are following, and you can also mention the ones that you can see from your end. Senator bado siasa Gideon ikiulizwa stronghold yake ni wapi atasema nini tena. So kuna mtu amesema hapo bwana, maneno ya Senate maybe Gideon anaweza rudi. Chumba comment anasema watching you live from industrial area Nairobi. Mike anasema one-on-one from Alex Nairobi. Chepto Chuma anasema watching from Thika. Winning a teacher live from Juin wapi, maybe ni mahali tu hapa duniani. Sniper anasema watching from Eldoret. Mutai following, asante sana. Cheboi Talam anasema watching you live from Kasiela Resort. Dorothy Tarus anasema watching live from Kitale. Keep it up, asante sana. Cheporo really anasema following from this nice discussion. Can you see some of the people from your end comment?
Yeah, I can see Victor Ngetich watching live from Kapsabet. And maybe these people who are watching from outside, they should also give us their thoughts on how they feel about the reception of the DP in Eldama Ravine. I can see Lagat Justus Arab Lembere. You're watching from Masai Mara, Kichwa Tembo. Well, that's a nice name. Viola Rotich watching from Uasin Gishu, Eldoret. Wacha uchochezi bana, sijui ni uchochezi gani. We're just having a conversation.
Kama umesema ukweli mahali.
Kuna ukweli labda watu wanaogopa.
Mahali.
Eli Kibet anasema alafu nyinyi wana hapa dogo. Festus Cheriot live from Doha, Qatar. Kumbe uko na mafans wengi sana.
Watu wengi wako nje. Kuna mtu bado anatufuata pala anaitwa Rongo, anasema watching you live from Siagago, Embu County. Asante sana. So maybe before we do come and mention, and you give us your thought on digital media and the use of online platforms mostly during this time of the year. What it can lead and we know what it can contribute. But before then, your thoughts on the new the amendment bill on political parties. What would you want to tell the youths in regards to that, and more so, of course, voters in general and members of parties?
There's a clause that I read, and I feel that something that everyone needs to be aware of.
Yeah.
That political parties amendment bill, the new one, there's a section that says during the nominations, party primaries, those who will participate would purely be those who are registered as members of a given party. And that is a scare. I'm sure every political party is scared. As much as there are some people who are pushing for this amendment, that alone is a scare. And some parties may just opt for dishing out tickets to avoid an embarrassment going into a party primary without membership. And maybe also that explains why UDA recently went for, they have set up polling station coordinators who
Yeah.
will, if you read the function of a polling station coordinator, they are the ones who will mobilize registration of new members to the party, so that when the time comes for nominations in April, they would have a membership that is enough or that meets the threshold to choose who the party flag bearer would be. So to me, I feel the purpose of this bill may have been perceived as an opportunity to put the coalitions that have been formed to stay in one place without moving, grounding them. Like for Oka, walifaa wabaki kwenye yako. But notice that Musalia Mudavadi left before it was passed. Maybe keeping also Azimio equal intact until the election, because it should be 6 months before the elections. So the little that I have gotten to understand with this bill is that it may have, the purpose may have been to keep some people together, but there is more that every party should be scared of, like the one that I've just mentioned, than the primary function. And then Abdul Nazir, the lawyer, the city lawyer, Abdullahi, is it Abdullahi Abdul Nazir or what?
Yeah.
What is his name? He was saying that the function, the purpose of that bill may have been to put some people, to seclude some people, but this may be a leeway for other aspirants like the DP to accommodate all of them. So it may be a win for some people and a loss also for some people, really. Yeah.
Wow. Digital media, it's currently elections, people are using it, people are coming in, people are writing things. What would you be your advice? Would it play a key role first in regards to elections? Will people who are online be the same voters on kule ground, ama mambo kwa online ni tofauti, ground ni tofauti?
To me, I've been a proponent of the new age media, the digital media.
Yes.
And that informs the reason why Baringo News was founded as early as, it is older than devolution in Baringo. Baringo News was founded in 2013, January tarehe 17. That's the birthday for Baringo News. When the first county government was being sworn in, we were the people who were reporting from the ground. So really, being a proponent, or rather a believer of the digital media, no one who is vying in whatever position should sit and think that it may not have an impact. Some people would say ignore the digital media at your own peril. Something else also to note, sometime last year, there was a feeling that the DP was being muted, or rather was being given a blackout by the mainstream media. And what did he do? He set up a team to be streaming live his events. So he was going live on his event, and you find that you watch during the day on his page, and then in the evening, you notice that mainstream media are using the same clips to report what the DP did on the ground. So you can't ignore the power of social media at this time. And for any aspirant who's vying right now, if you're not here, then you should start developing the fear of missing out. Wanaita FOMO. Hiyo kama hauko, then you're left out. And again, finally, you notice that almost everyone is going live during their events. People are on their phones every time. And you get into a hotel, watu wanakula when their eyes are fixed on the phones. These people consume information that trickles in every second.
Yeah.
And from statistics also, binadamu sahi, we refresh our phones after every 12 seconds on average. Provided the internet is connected, every 12 seconds utachukua uiangalie nini inaendelea. So if you are in these campaigns, the digital media will play a major role because it may liberalize the flow of information, in that we are no longer sitting until 7 p.m. in the evening to watch news.
Absolutely.
We will get them as they happen. So if there's an incident like the event in Eldama Ravine, you did not have to wait until 7 p.m. uone vile iliendelea. We facilitated the live coverage, and from our platform alone, we were having at least 1,500 people watching at a given instance.
Wow.
So at your home, mko wawili mmekaa chini mna watch TV, but here there's a centralized platform where 1,500 people are watching from different destinations, or rather from different locations. So that is how the digital media will play a role in these elections. Then finally, kila raia sahi ni, I would say, a reporter or a journalist on their own. And there's something called citizen journalism. People will report what is happening at their comfort of their phones. If you're in Eldama Ravine, there's an aspirant who's campaigning, somebody posts, that message will go out. During elections, if rigging is happening and somebody sees some ballot papers being stuffed, mtu atapiga picha na atume, and it can even be used as a way of following up whether it can be substantial evidence or not. So the liberalization of flow of information has been boosted by the fact that everyone is online and everybody has the freedom to say anything that they want. And that explains why Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and these big boys in the social media industry are regulating flow of information, or even wametengeneza algorithms to detect whether you're spreading fake news or actual news. So that is where we are headed, and we can't avoid but to embrace.
Wow, that's a good analysis, and of course a point of putting it together. And I will say also in regards to the digital media as well, I will encourage people to use it, because it is what we get to hear. I'm in Australia, I don't know what is happening in Baringo. I get to understand and get to know exactly at that point in time. I will tell you this comment. I have a TV in my house, but I clearly turn it on, to be sincere. I don't watch the news on my TV. Another thing is, I remember when I was back home in about 10 or so years ago, 7 p.m. tulikuwa tunaenda kuwatch news kwa hoteli. Kila unaenda news, watu walikuwa wanasimama wamekaa chini, wengine mpaka wamesimama huko. The moment tu William Ruto amemaliza kuongea, the prime time news amemaliza kuongea, kila mtu anasema basi news imeisha. But I bet nowadays, if you go to the local to the village hotels back home, you won't find such many people now, because people are on the phone, you're just watching what is happening, or you already know what happened during the day, so you don't have to go and crowd in such areas. So I would also tell the youths to use this thing in a very good way. It does pay as well. If you use it well, there is a good way of earning. I always tell people, never be afraid to tell people that this thing pays. Ulinionyesha, we are here today, you are celebrating, you are winning your way, I'm winning my way. So right way. We see people like in Njuguna, people are earning money, they are building homes, they are growing, they are Kina Terrace, creative. They are earning good money, they are living large because of this social media. So I would also encourage our youth back home there, use it well. Maneno ya matusi, wachana. And if you are to argue a point, if you are to tetea your aspirant or your person, do it in a decorum way, very good, nice way. Have a conversation, tell out the points. Si ati unakuja direct unasema wewe ni mjinga na hujasema hata sasa mimi ni mjinga na hujasema sasa uerefu wako imekufikisha wapi.
Yeah.
So unless you want to add something on that as well.
Kabisa, you've touched on a very important aspect here, kutumia social media, and I think we might need to organize a time that we can discuss this.
Yeah.
Inaitwa social media etiquette.
Yes.
In any communication, there's what we call the rules that govern the space. Yes. Etiquette. You can't just wake up and accuse people. That would amount to what we call libel. Of course, the law can also catch up with you. Defamation, mambo kama haya. So anyone, as much as it's a good platform to make good use of, there's a very serious temptation to accuse people wrongly or report things that are not right, just to disadvantage a candidate whom you don't support. So the bit of etiquette ni muhimu sana, and with the encouragement of citizen journalism, these people also need to be aware that the law is there, and it's also wrong to report that which is not correct. And before you even share what has been said, you should also confirm, verify whether it is true, so that you don't mislead other people. There's a case in Korea where someone defamed, a social media user on Facebook defamed another person. I think it was in 2016, thereabout. Mm-hmm. And the offense was so serious that anyone who liking alone, let alone even commenting, liking and sharing, all of them were arrested for supporting an erroneous information, and everybody was sued for their respective mistake. And any media house that wrote a story based on that comment or other post was also sued, and everybody was fined to compensate the damage that was caused on that person. So you can see the chain, how it is. So before you say something, remember the law is there. And of course, also for the aspirants, especially when live streaming, there is zero opportunity to correct your mistake. Unatusi mtu tumeona, mtu ashare screenshot imeenda. So those are the challenges, of course, and the things that we need to consider when we're using social media.
Sisi tutakata na tunazungusha tu.
Ndio hivyo.
Unless I see some people, and a lot Silas alisema following from Qatar, DP alikuwa anangojwa Nakuru, lewe wanalafu jamaa Australia skill ground. Kwanza Candy Boys anasema Toronto, Canada, from point of view all well, I like the way our people are now consuming politics. Kipchumba Chep Talel Kimeli anasema my friend SK salamia sana. Rodrick Koech anasema Alfred kanda wewe sana, asante sana. Salamia Ngetich anasema live from 027 and watching you live from Canada with Miguna and 99 others.
I can also see my brother Boaz Komen is watching from Debrecen, Hungary.
Wow.
You have really painted a clear image of what exactly happened in Baringo.
Wow.
So we're also helping people in diaspora to know what may have been
Absolutely.
happening.
You guys are helping us. We don't actually get to know what is happening until we have a conversations like this and share. Last short comment.
Yes, maybe on the final shot before we finish.
And then also mention what is the future of Ravine News and what you cover and how people can reach you. Ninyi ni wale watu wa kuchotewa chai ama mnachukua story vile iko. So all those ones.
Well, before we go to the last words for this in this conversation, maybe a little bit on mobilization and some of the mistakes that some aspirants do. You know, when a visitor of the caliber of the DP is coming to Baringo, Kabarnet, Eldama Ravine, watu wamejipanga bana. There's some sections of the clips that we were focusing on some lorries, imejaa hivi vijana. Unataka kuniambia vijana walihaya hiyo lori peke yao? They belong to someone, and those people are coming on a mission. So I feel the mistake that some of the aspirants who suffered the intimidation from other supporters is that you see where the DP lands and where the rally is happening ni mahali mbili tofauti. So there are some aspirants who are wise enough. Mtu kama Ngetonyi na Sirma hao hawakuenda kukaribisha DP. Wao walibaki wakichunga space yao. Others walienda na wakarudi and they did not find themselves within the surrounding where their supporters are. So wewe una rise kuongea na kumbe uko na goons hapo. Ile tu kiamka hivi ushakuwa shouted down.
Now this is something to learn. Unajua mimi nakuja hata mimi ground ha?
Unakuja nini baba?
This is someone.
Itabidi umejipanga my friend. This is what happens. Even the DP ukiangalia pale Uasin Gishu, the first like 20 meters from the dais, utaona majority of those who are standing there ni watu wamevaa rangi ya UDA. After that inakuwa sasa rangi ya UDA inafifia ikienda hivyo. Hao ni raia wenye wamejileta. But those who have been organized na wameambiwa kile cha kuja kufanya ni wale wamevaa vizuri. There is no day you will address a crowd that has not been prepared. Unless sasa you are unabahatisha ndio ukue heckled or something like that. So to me, I feel the lessons picked from that event, I had not also figured out that. That's what I learned. If you have a team that you prepared, weenda ukaribishe mzito, lakini uweke mtu mwenye anakuchungia gari yako hapo. Ukifika kwa venue, tembea, tafuta njia uende kwa gari yako ndio utokee juu kwenye raia wako wako area. To avoid embarrassment and loss, or rather investing in something that comes to fight you back. Absolutely. Well, to my last words, maybe before I go to that, you are asking how we work. Baringo News, Ravine News are both platforms that are managed by Eblin Media. Eblin Media is a registered media company which operates under the confines of the law of Kenya. And being, you can judge my age. We are still young people who are trying to build an organization that would even accommodate other people. With the little that we have managed to achieve, we have come together with a team of 9 people. It was an idea of 2 people. Now imefika watu 9. So you can see the growth. And when you are asking whether sisi ni watu tuna operate vipi, we have a physical office. Even say if people want to find me, they know where I can be found. We are in Eldama Ravine, Skyrise Plaza, 3rd floor. That is where we are. We are even maybe you can adjust how the screen looks like so that people can even see the studio. So that's what we do on a day-to-day basis, and our dream is to provide an alternative media, or rather news source, for the people of Baringo. And kwa majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu, we will also want to expand to other counties or replicate what we are doing in Baringo to suit other counties. Seeing mwenzangu amepotea, but I believe for the viewers, you are hearing and getting to watch what I'm saying here.
I was giving you a bigger view on the studio. Ili acha bwana, hii chai sasa nangoja tu M-Pesa.
Asante. Well, so that's how we work, and we are filling up the gaps that have been left by the mainstream media. So when you come to Baringo, the authoritative platform to get news in real time is Baringo News. And we're also building Ravine News to be an outward looking. There's also a TV, the TV 30, which is still a baby, tunaipeleka pole pole. So that is what we are doing. And now to my parting shot, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity. We are staffed with a lot of information here, and by you hosting me here, I think we are able to dispense the little that we know. Yeah. And also to get to interact with the audience. I can see quite a number of people were watching, over 200 people were watching, and that's quite encouraging to have people get to listen to you. So thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to appearing here more often. and also to support each other in building platforms that are reputable, platforms that can give people the correct information, and also to empower people to know. Knowledge is power, and you can't get knowledge if there are no people to break down the complex information and serve it in simpler terms that people can consume easily. And then finally, on the politics of Baringo, ours is just to give you a glimpse of what is happening here, and analysis, and also advice, if we can, for the community also to consume and make the correct choices. Finally, is that as Baringo News, we are organizing debates. We will be hosting the first debates of their kind, from the MP, Senate, women rep to the governor, and to get to be known. That is one. Two, it will give these people, the raia, the voters, an opportunity to know these leaders, so that by the time they are going to the ballot, they know who they are voting for, and they know whether Alfred or Komen have content or not. And ours is to pray that we prepare an interested person to carry the signal on your platform.
Absolutely. We are planning, and I was about to mention that as well. We're doing the same in Nandi. Sisi tuna focus on tunaanzia MCA. Leo tupatie MCA.
Kwani mko na wards ngapi wewe? Acha kuchukua na list.
Hapa bwana MCAs wenye wanamuka huko kwetu, we are about 36. But MCAs, I think, only aspirants peke yao. They are more than the
aspirants.
No, but because we are starting from my own MCAs and those who are champions, of course.
Yeah.
But mostly, as you said, the women reps. I think we have about 5 of them. Yes. Asubuhi kesho ameyuko, kesho kutwa wanauliza alienda wapi, mara wanasema widget, mara wanasema widget. Nandi tumepotea. But comment, I'm privileged to have hosted you. That was great analysis on matters Baringo. We will go, of course, keep going, and I will tell people who are aspirants as well in Baringo, and those who are business people who want to let people know about their product, so that you get hosted, get to share your thoughts on the general life, as well as in regards to the products that you have and your leadership. The most thing that people tend to happen, saa zingine, I'll tell you this comment, saa zingine mtu anakuja ananiambia kuja uniendee live kwa event. The moment I mentioned that it is this amount, mtu anasema Alfred bwana, I'm going to waste my 1 hour or 2. I'm going with my gadgets yenye nimenunua at around 100,000 for free. So people also need to know this, and I want to speak on behalf of you, comment that if someone comes for your show, you host them, they need to know that sio chai, it is service, pesa ya service. They don't need to tell you nakupatia chai. Kama ni chai wacha ikae, ambia mimi nitakusaidia. People need kujua pesa ya ofisi iko. Ni ya ofisi sio chai, because you are spending your time, you are using softwares that you pay, you've bought your gadgets. Unataka kunipatia chai na umepatia mtu ya time amejulikana Baringo yote na Kenya.
Kwanza huko hata hiyo maneno ikaambia ikae. Hapa waiti chai wanakuambia acha tukutumie bundles. when the bundles yenye wanaongelea ni 500.
Imagine, no, that it doesn't work.
The internet, you know what, Alfred? The internet that we're using here is almost more expensive than the rent.
Imagine.
You can imagine that if you come to this office, you'll be able to figure out how much we are paying for the internet. Anyway, something I forgot, Alfred, and allow me to say that I know we are running out of time.
Yes.
For the aspirants that we may have termed as losers and gainers of that event, they still have an opportunity. They need to go back to their drawing board. We've even given hints of some of the mistakes that they may have committed, and they should be able to bounce back, because hey, watu wana invest kwa hii kitu bana, and losing, even kurudi nyuma one step, is a huge loss. So we encourage them to go back, put their house in order, and plan well. It's never too late. We still have another 1.5 months to go into the nominations, so they should not feel discouraged. And I know these people, they have the calling. Before someone comes out to say that I want to be a governor, an MCA, a senator, whatever the position, they have the calling to serve these people. Na ni kujitolea. Hii siasa si mchezo, my friend.
Yeah.
I've been involved in politics since 2013, and I understand these people. So mine is just to wish them well. May they recollect, wajiweke vizuri, they bounce back, and may they emerge the best, even as they are dealing with their lowest moment at this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Komen, and thank you everyone who has been watching. Pass the regards to your team, pale kwa ground, and of course everyone who has been watching. Tunashukuru sana. Remember, this is brought to you by Lansman Foundation and of course Tired Resort. If you're in Eldoret and you want to get a place to relax, it's Friday, you want to get a place to go and enjoy over the weekend, Tired Resort is your best bet. That's the best place you go. Always remember to redeem your points and redeem your discount, courtesy of AKL. Just mention that you had them through us here on AKL, or even mention Alfred, and you will get your 10% discount. Remember also, we have things like horse riding, camel riding. We have the best zip line in Eastern Central Africa, and it is well and truly located in a place which is very accessible, close to the airport Eldoret as you go towards Kapsabet, or you're from Kapsabet to Eldoret. So, courtesy of them and Lansman Foundation, all these shows are brought to you. Till then, let's see you on Sunday. Thank you and God bless you.
Asante.
Okay.